Guys, how's it going? It is Smalls Gaming, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about the top 5 SMGs with a few honorable mentions in between. And this is going to be a bit of a long video as well. It's going to be over like 10 minutes, but I will provide the builds. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. The number 5 spot belongs to the Cordite. If you guys remember, back in season 6 the Cordite got released, and it had a pretty OP hipfire with it, but back in, I believe, season 7 it actually ended up getting a pretty hard nerf, and in season 9 it also got another nerf because its recoil got changed and everything. But I think it's still viable with its good hipfire. It still has a pretty good hipfire, not as good as it once was, but it still has a pretty big hipfire. It has a pretty big base mag, which is around 40 bullets. And with this build, it's going to be very accurate, and you basically won't feel that horizontal recoil. And its base ADS speed is also bad, and you can't really balance it for it to be good ADS speed and still very accurate. If you try to do it with good ADS speed, it will be very jumpy. But it definitely deserves a spot in the list for the top 5 SMGs. But other than that, let's get straight into the build. So guys, here's the Cordite build. So we have the mono suppressor, the OWC marksman, the MIP strike stock, grenaded grip, and the OWC laser tactical. So this is all based on recoil control, and I'm gonna show you guys the class recoil real quick. The FHJ, the equalizer, flak jacket, quick fix, and hotline. We also have trophy system and thermite. But other than that, let's go straight to the number 4 spot. On to number 4, we have the GKS. The GKS did pretty decent when season 9 introduced gunsmith, but it didn't really compete a lot due to the fact that SMGs with faster fire rate ended up competing in the meta. So obviously it didn't compete with guns like the QQ9, and it had a very slow fire rate, which didn't really let it compete, and its damage wasn't really good. But now it's gotten multiple buffs in season 13 and 14, recently getting a reload buff. This gun is very punishing due to its slow fire rate, and since it has a slow fire rate, it doesn't really compete close range, and it also has slow mobility. But I would recommend building it as an AR since it is an SMG AR hybrid. And this gun has a good iron sight, a good hip fire, and it performs very well. And since it has a slow fire rate, you still need an extended mag due to the fact that its base mag is 25 bullets. But other than that, let's get straight into the build. So here's the build for the GKS. We have the mono suppressor, the MIP barrel short, OWC laser tactical, 40 round extended mag, and grenaded grip. We have the Deagle, the gravity vortex gun, lightweight, quick fix, and hardline. We have the gas grenade and the thermite. So this is my hardpoint class, hence the gravity vortex gun and the gas grenade. But other than that, let's go to the number 3 spot. On to number 3, we have the RUS. The RUS has been pretty good ever since it got released in the game, due to the fact that it had a fast fire rate, good damage, and this was basically the definition of no recoil. And this was one of the easiest SMGs to use back when the game was out about a year ago. But this gun has its ups and downs over the past few seasons. It might have a fast fire rate, but it still does pretty bad now due to the fact that there's a lot better SMGs with better damage and faster fire rate. This gun also has a good hipfire and good iron sight, but it doesn't. There's nothing that it really shines in, because close range, a lot of SMGs or ARs will compete there. It can't compete long range because obviously it's an SMG and it's not an SMG hybrid, so it's gonna struggle a lot. But we made it work, so we're gonna talk about the build. So here's the RUS build. We have the YKM integral suppressor, no stock, grenaded grip, 50 round extended mag, and the OWC laser tactical. We also have the Deagle, the transformed shield, flak jacket, hardwired, and hardline. We also have the gas grenade or the smoke grenade and the thermite. But let's get on to the number 2 spot. Onto number 2, we have the QQ9. With its release, it was a pretty good gun. It was the best SMG back in Season 7, but with how good it was, they had to nerf it. But it didn't just get nerfed once, it got nerfed around 4 times. And they ended up adding body multipliers to the arms, the legs, and the hands, which made it lag a lot. But with the release of Season 9, we ended up getting the 10mm rounds. Those were bugged towards the start of the season, but when they ended up getting fixed, they increased the damage and damage range of the QQ9. But also it decreased your fire rate to close range. The 10mm rounds didn't compete, but it made the QQ9 viable again. But with the release of Season 14 now, a lot of SMGs got buffed and nerfed. But this gun does pretty good at everything except range. Due to its bad body multipliers, it doesn't compete anymore. So here we have the QQ9 build. We have the monolithic integral suppressor, no stock, the 10mm round reload, the 1mW laser. If you do not want that, you could just use my 5mW or the other laser. This one's up to you. And the sleight of hand perk. You also have the deagle, war machine, lightweight, hardwired, hardline, smoke grenade, and thermite. But before we get to the number 1 spot, let's go on to the honorable mentions. So let's talk about the AGR. On its release, it was very underwhelming. It had a fast fire rate, but its damage output was very bad. Its recoil was very jumpy, which made it lag at those longer ranges, and it even got 5.56 mags, which allowed it to turn into an AR. Its base mag was 25 bullets, which forced you to use an extended mag, so you were basically left with 4 attachments to use. You couldn't really do much with it. Its iron sight might be well, its damage might be okay, but it still competes, but it's a very decent gun. But it still deserves the mention. So here's the AUG build. So we have the MIP Light, the Combat Stock, Gun-Related Grip, Extended Mag A, and the laser's up to you, either the 5mW or the Tactical Laser. We also have the Deagle, Transform Shield, Black Jacket, Hardwired Hardline, Smoke Grenade, and Thermite. But let's go on to the second honorable mention. Onto honorable mention number 2 is the Razorback. The Razorback, when it first got released for everybody for free, ended up being very underpowered due to how slow the fire rate is. Also, the recoil was very hard to control due to the fact that it was mainly horizontal, which made it lag. But with the release of Season 13, ended up getting a lucky draw with a perk that increases fire rate. This gun might have a bad iron sight, but now I believe it competes in the meta with how SMGs have been nerfed. But the rapid fire really makes it viable again. But let's get on straight into the build, ladies and gentlemen. So for this Razorback build, we have the MIP Extended Light Barrel, the Wide KM Combat Stock, Gun-Related Grip, the Rapid Fire perk. We also have the OWC Laser Tactical. But for the class, we have the iferg, the Gravity Vortex gun. We also have Lightweight, Hardwired, and Hardline. And we also have the Smoke Grenade and the Thermite. But other than that, let's get right into the number 1 spot. The number 1 spot belongs to the QXR. When it first released, it ended up releasing with the Rapid Fire perk. With its already fast fire rate, the Rapid Fire perk made it even more viable. It's easy to control recoil pattern, makes it even better. But you can also take range fights with this, which is surprising for an SMG that jumps quite a bit. But this gun does really well. Right now it's being used by everyone. It's basically a better QQ9. The QQ9 is like the QXR without the rapid fire perk, but this gun does really well at pretty much anything. And its base mag is 40, so you don't need an extended mag. And the other extended mag also gives you 10, which you really don't need. You can take on multiple enemies at once. And it has pretty good mobility and you can make it have faster DS speed. But other than that, let's get straight into the build. So for this QXR build, we have the Monolithic Suppressor, the RWC Marksman, the Granalytic Grip, the RWC Laser Tactical, and the Enhanced Bolt. And for the class, we have the iferg, Gravity Vortex Gun, Lightweight, Ghost, and Hardline. We also have the Smoke Grenade and the Thermite. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.